Hello, dear friends. So I want to welcome you to September. I have a couple things that I want to tell you about, some being just like what's going on with doTERRA right now, some being a little tip or two I learned when I was in Nicaragua at a natural clinic. So to start off, if you don't already know my friend Rosemary, I hope you get to know her very well. She can be your friend for free if you are ordering over 125 with your loyalty rewards. And I'm excited because I'm actually really running low. I love Rosemary because she makes my hair really strong and helps balance out whether it's greasy or oily. And so her for different hair applications, including she also goes in my mascara because it helps strengthen all of those follicles and things like that. I also love Rosemary because she's amazing for respiratory support. Rosemary is one of the main ingredients in On Guard, and so all those infectious kind of things that you don't really want around, she really can help you with. And the other thing that I love her for is she really helps me focus. So if I have some work I really need to just like blast through, I will start the diffuser or use one of my roller bottles that includes peppermint, rosemary, and then I put Motivate if it's in the roller bottle, but if it's in the diffuser, I do peppermint, rosemary, and lemon, which is so great for focus. If you're not familiar with what rosemary can do for you, do take a look in the Modern Essentials book, and you'll find a whole host of really, really interesting things that she can help with. Also, 10% off if you want to snag up some time. Who doesn't need some more time in their life? Time is also really fantastic for things that are respiratory related and things related to hair. There's, yeah, I could probably go on for even longer. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about the last thing that I think is the most important, which is up leveling to 20% off. Now, most of you guys already know, so this will mostly be coming into my Enamored with Nature Oil Education group on Facebook, but I'm also recording this to send to my email buddies for those who are not really connected through Facebook. And but most of you all have a personal relationship with me. You know, I'm a little bit of a crazy oil lady. Sometimes I actually prefer Oil Ninja because sometimes you don't even realize I've come in and swiped something on you and you didn't even know. It's kind of fun. But so I love specifically doTERRA. I'm totally into the lifestyle because I feel like it's really, really empowering. Helps me know how to help my family heal and feel better and live a more ideal life. So that's also something that I have gotten kind of passionate about sharing with others. I'm really big into empowering others. That's why I do a lot of educational videos. That's why I do like actual DIY classes at my home or at several places in Orlando. I have some fun ones coming up in the month of September. We're focusing on kids essentials, being able to empower kiddos with their own natural solutions as well. So Thursday the 12th, I have something at my home. If you are not local to Orlando and can't make it because of some other reason, I do have a webinar going on about kids. I'm calling it Kids Essentials, but it covers a whole host of things from germs to bullies to sleep cycles to being able to kind of wake up and feel your best. Of course, there's a couple of interesting recipes in there, things that I like to use because we all like snacks and things like that as well. Anyway, though, so aside from teaching classes and using things in my home, I also try to help people get the best bang for their buck if they already have their own account with doTERRA. And so to do that, I always tell people about the Loyalty Rewards program. And right now, only in September, you can up level your percentage back when you're buying things from the Loyalty Rewards program. And so I would never order any other way besides Loyalty Rewards. That just means I've kind of said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and order at least one thing every month from doTERRA. And depending on how much I order, I'm getting a percentage back. And there's like different ins and outs to that. But basically, when you very first start, you have the opportunity to get in at 10%. This is on top of the 25% that you have just because you have your account. Making a standard order, everybody gets 25% off if you have your own account with doTERRA. But if you're ordering Loyalty Rewards style, you're going to start at 10%. And then if you are keeping that up for 3 months in a row, or not even in a row, 3 months, whenever, you'll build up to 15% and then to 20%. So as you climb and climb and climb, so I'm at 30%, which means I actually am getting 55% off of retail price when I'm using my Loyalty Rewards program. Plus I get these other freebies and shipping things. Like, I can't not do that. I know too many of the ins and outs. So I want to be able to teach you guys, especially if you already have your own account, like let's make sure that you know how to do this. What kind of things you need to order specifically for your family. And you might be surprised because doTERRA does not just do essential oils. We think of it as being an essential oil company, but there's so many really, really good things that are much, much higher value than the things that you can get in your typical like Walgreens or wherever, you know. So in trying to let you know about that, about up-leveling, I may be reaching out to a couple of you to see like where you're at with your account, what your current needs are, things like that, to see if I can be of a help to you. But in addition to those things, I want to also, yeah, and if I don't get to you, reach out to me because I really do want to help. The other thing I wanted to talk about though is a couple tips that I learned while I was at the clinic in Nicaragua. So I went on a service trip that lasted 9 days, and I only got back about 2 weeks ago or so. And I've had a lot of people ask me questions about it, and I love to share. I try not to cry when I share, but there was such a great learning experience, but also very humbling as well. It was so, so awesome. So hoping that I can go back and bring lots of people with me another time. But some tips that I learned, one of the things that we saw the most while we were at the clinic is a lot of people with pain of different sort, just discomfort in their back or their knees. Those were the most often because that particular community is very agricultural, and so you find a lot of people who are swinging machetes to clear land. You find a lot of people who are down on their hands and knees planting and things like that. So there was a lot of people who came in and said, you know, like, I go to El Centro, which is this central like hospital down in one of the larger cities, but they just can't prescribe enough pain meds to quiet all of the stuff and not be like zonked out on painkillers all day. And so they're asking for, here at the clinic, they could come and ask us about what to do. And of course, I loved to be able to freely provide several different options. So a couple of things that we were able to do there was two of the people who were trained in they're trained in acupuncture. I can only do acupressure. But acupuncture in a couple of different places in my body were really great at relieving some of the stuck stuff in all those channels so that things are flowing clearly, and helping all those nerves communicate with each other. Also, supplements was another big one. Surprisingly, there are, like calcium and magnesium are not as prevalent in some of the dietary, standard in Nicaragua. And so supplementing with some calcium and magnesium, that was really neat, just be able to, give them some of those minerals and vitamins so that could support their bone health in general. So those were two things. We also really loved being able to do deep blue rub, which I think, I brought that in here. So we would put some of this in like a smaller container so they could go home. What's really neat about this particular one is, yes, it has some great essential oils in it, and it definitely comes out feeling like an icy hot or a Bengay or something like that. But because it's not in a petroleum base, it's going to absorb better into the tissues, and it's going to stay there and do its work like so much, in a much more, how can I say this, supportive way overall for the whole body. And because it has very pure essential oils, not just stuff to like make it smell not so bad, just a small amount, like just like a pea-sized amount, is enough to put on, like, you know, a knee cap or a, you know, or a back injury or something like that, and be able to have some relief from that. So we love being able to pass out a couple jars of that, and also for people who really seem to have like more like long-term kind of issues, we also liked to make some roller bottles that had a couple different essential oil ingredients, which I'm going to tell you guys about. So loved, number one, using the deep blue soothing blend. This one already has some helichrysum in it, and you'll notice that it smells a lot like, it's very wintergreeny, and so similar to the deep blue rub, it has a lot of those, you know, like, what do you call that, like icy hotish kind of smell. And so very like pepperminty, wintergreeny, you know, all those kinds of like cooling and hot kind of sensations. Also loved marjoram in there. Marjoram is one of my absolute favorites. I actually use, you can see it's actually pretty much empty because my new shipment isn't in yet. Use this for your muscles. It's amazing. It's like instant relaxer. Oh, so good. I mean, there's lots of other uses for marjoram as well, but I love putting it like on my shoulders every single night. If it's not Aroma Touch, it's marjoram. Love marjoram. So that goes in for anything muscle related specifically. And then the other one we do is the copaiba. And you guys have probably heard me talk a lot about the copaiba before. If you guys know anything about the endocannabinoid system and being able to like soothe the pain receptors as well as the anxiety that gets all bunched up when there's trauma or trouble or all that kind of stuff. So this makes a really nice blend, and if there's any ligaments or tendon issues, you might want to throw in a little bit of the lemongrass as well. So that is such a good blend, and so I would do a roller bottle, and I know some of you guys who are watching this probably are curious how much of what. So because we were at the clinic and we're giving things away for free, and we really don't know like how many people we're going to need all these things for, we become very conservative, and which is fine to do with the essential oils because they're so powerful, and just a very small amount goes a long way. So I was able to bring down a full gallon of fractionated coconut oil and just a ton of roller bottles. Now we did end up running out by like day 2.5, you know, like, but they didn't finish through day 3. But so in general, if you're looking at a 10 ml bottle, you're going to want to aim for anywhere between 10 to 20 pure drops of essential oil. So I often would do something like 5 deep blue, 5 marjoram, 5 copaiba, and then finish the rest with fractionated coconut oil, unless I felt like there was a ligament or tendon issue, then I'd throw in some lemongrass. I also, peppermint was another one, which I accidentally left my peppermint there. My doTERRA shipment hasn't come in, so I don't have my peppermint. I really miss it. But peppermint is another one just because it's a very cooling kind of sensation as well. So if you are struggling with some joint issues or some muscle issues, do consider trying to make yourself one of these kinds of roller bottles. You know, if you don't have acupressure or acupuncture or some of the supplements or things like that, get yourself some of the deep blue or make yourself one of the roller bottles, because this is really effective. We did feel like we were doing some really good things for those people. Okay, many hugs to you guys. Remember, if you have comments or questions, you can always pop them into the chat here, or go ahead and just ask a separate one on the Enamored with Nature or Education page. Many hugs. Bye-bye.